Believe it or not, the backwards advice that inspired this abomination right here is also some of the best advice I've heard on improving creatively and learning faster in general. It helped my work go from this to this, and it also made the process a lot more fun as well. This idea came from a conversation with the fantastic artist Klaus Werner. Whether you're drawing, painting, writing, making music, or abominations like this little thing, this advice might just change the way you work and enjoy the process a whole lot more. So let's talk about it while I do a painting. So this all came from a conversation I was having with Klaus one day, and there was something interesting about him because I noticed he would improve so much faster than everyone else when it came to learning to draw and learning to paint. And I asked him about it, and he was explaining the difference he saw in the way he practiced versus other people. So let's say someone has a habit of drawing their ears way too big. They've noticed it and they want to fix it. They say to themselves, okay, next time I'm going to fix these ears, I'm going to absolutely nail the size. So they draw again, really trying to make them smaller and get them right on point. And the result, they still have absolutely massive ears. They are a bit smaller, sure, a bit less Dumbo, but they are still way too big. So they try again, thinking, this time I'm going to make them even smaller, get them right. And again, they do draw them smaller, but they are still far too big. And this just goes on and on. They keep on doing more drawings, chipping away, slowly making their ears smaller over time. And somewhere in between the 12th and the 25th attempt, they finally get them to the right size. Now Klaus, on the other hand, his approach was the exact opposite. He'd say to himself, okay, on the next drawing, I'm going to make my ears way too small. Like, it's going to be weird how small they are. I'm going to try and just get them something that feels totally off, really wrong. I'm going to start from there. He would actually overshoot and try and push it too far on purpose. And what's interesting is when he did this, he would usually find that his ears were still too big, but he was far closer, and all it took was one or two small adjustments from here to get to his ears being roughly the right size. So what would take most people, 25 slow, cautious nudges to get into the right zone, it would take Klaus 2 or 3. Because he wasn't trying to get it right the whole time, because he was trying to just push it way too far, he could see what too far looked like and then fine-tune from there. And the reason why this advice is so good is because we often think we're making far bigger changes than we actually are. Because when you've been doing something the same way for ages, even a small, tiny micro shift can feel huge. It feels massive to you, but to someone else, they barely even notice the difference. And that's why this trick works so well. When you push it too far on purpose, you start to break this pattern much faster. And from there, it's much easier to adjust and get to where you want. In short, overshoot the target, then dial it back. You even hear about this with things like archery. They talk about sort of aiming beyond the target, not just at it. Now, even with this advice, there's one more thing that really makes it work and click together. Because this advice does not just help you fix your mistakes, it's also a great way to help get out of creative ruts and evolve your style if it feels a bit stale, which is something that I've been experiencing recently. Because there's an odd thing that happens once you start to gain more skill and get better at something, or simply do it for a while. You start to define yourself as someone who paints, draws, creates, makes music, whatever, in a certain way. And this self-definition becomes a box that can be very difficult to break out of. You can sit down to try something different, really try to push it, and find that you still end up making the same old kind of work just out of habit. But with this idea of overshooting, you can use this to help break you out of that box. Even if it's just a little, that's all you need. You can start with something in your usual style, pull out the parts you like, and then start pushing it, like I did with these digital sketches based off of this painting. And just going through this process can inspire something completely different to what you usually do. Like this little guy right here, who is objectively an absolute abomination. I had so much fun painting him. I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm going to be doing a whole lot more. By the way, just a little side note, if you want to see more freak shows like these pop up in your algorithm, I started an Instagram page just for these. If you're on the first 100 followers, you will get a chance to win a free print. Link is in the description. The funny thing is, even when you try and push it too far, it's easy to hold back out of habit. But that's also where the power is with this technique, because even noticing that you're stopping early really helps you to then push back and continue to break out of that box. Whether you're learning to draw better ears, trying to reconnect your creativity, or just trying to breathe some new life into your work. Don't aim for right, aim for too far, and then pull it back. Now, if you want to get even more juice out of this idea, it works very well with the advice given in this video on learning. Give overshooting a shot, see how you find it. I'd love to hear. All right, that's it from me. Ciao.